little game called Downwell.
A tiny game, smidgen.
It's literally a very small game. It's $2.50 right now that you can buy it on a bunch of different platforms I'll get into a little bit later. But the game is just very straightforward, very, very pint-sized, very small concept, but it fully explores all of the things that it could explore within this very narrow scope. And that is simply you're playing as this dude that falls down this endless well that is randomly generated. So inside this well, you're constantly falling down with a few platforms that you can sort of land on, but your goal is to just make it down to the very bottom of the well. And along the way, there's these enemies that have different characteristics to them on how you need to tackle them. And the big thing about it is that you have guns on your boots. So your boots are guns.
Okay, are they for like propulsion?
They are. So as you're falling down, you can fire your gun boots in order to sort of slow down your descent, as well as kill the enemies that you're going down on.
Kind of like a Vector Man. Kind of, you know what I mean? You ever played that where you're like, you can boost up, and then when you're falling, you can hit it.
Yeah.
You can't destroy an enemy that way, but
or at the very least, like Battletoads, where you can push off from one wall and use yourself as a weapon.
Similar to that, except the descent is minimal. The sort of the interruption to your descent is kind of minimal. So it's a very fast-paced, combo-oriented type of game. And then as you're making it down this well, there's these little tiny rooms on either side of it that you can explore for various power-ups or for vendors. So as you're killing enemies, you're collecting these red gems, and then you're taking these red gems and finding a shop to spend them on. And then as you fall down to the bottom of a certain level or a little stage of a well, you're constantly going down, but there's like these little intermissions in between. And as you're doing that, you're gaining a permanent power-up that you're able to select, and it sort of feeds this... I almost want to say it's like the Binding of Isaac, except simpler, and you're just falling down and doing this very arcadey style gameplay where you're just jumping on enemies' heads or shooting them or bouncing between them. And there's a lot of intricate mechanics in there that makes it extremely fun.
Well, what's the atmosphere then? Is it more of like a silly platform, or is it like a serious game where at the bottom of the well is the future of man or something like that?
It is a very streamlined, very simple game. There's no essential story. It's very bare bones. It's just fall down a well, see how far down you can get, and along the way, kill as many enemies, build up a high enough combo, and just try to survive. And it has permadeath, so you make it down as far as you can get. If you die, you have to start from the very top again.
Ooh. Wait, okay. Now, do you get lives, hit points? Is it like R-Type? You make it all the way down, and then just before you hit bottom, you get like some random stray bullet catches you in the kneecap.
Yep.
And then you're dead. You start all the way back.
All the way back from the very start. Although you do get health, and you can increase your health as you go by getting various power-ups or spending your currency in certain ways. But yeah, it's very brutal with the difficulty, but it's also very streamlined, or very compact, and every time you go down the well, it's random. So you're never encountering the same scenario over and over again. The enemies might be the same, but the level design itself, the enemy placement, the power-ups you're going to get, the permanent power-ups that you're going to get, like all of those things are going to be random. So it's interesting every single time you go through.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like you've got a pretty high opinion of this other.
I do. It is really. It's probably the best $2.50 you could ever spend on a video game.
Whoa.
Nice.
Well, keep in mind, we did just talk about Crystal Pepsi. So
on a game, he said.
On the game.
Crystal Pepsi.
Sorry, he didn't take an account of Crystal.
Wait, am I the only one that's hoping that while you play this game, we're sending our love down the well from The Simpsons? On loop?
Or you see that like child from that crappy like after school movie, you know what I mean? Or she fell down the well.
It's like you just passed Baby Glenn.
That's it.
Baby Glenn.
So what's this for, Johnny? Is it a mobile game?
It is a mobile game. It's called Downwell. It's available on PS4, Android, iOS, the Vita, and Windows, which is where I played it.
Wow, wait, no N-Gage?
People still got
no
the Vita?
N-Gage, sorry.
People still got the Vita.
Like,
although
he did not say PSP, he said Vita.
some people might want to know this. The graphics are 8-bit style, so if you don't like that sort of thing, the old school sprites, then
what? No, please, I got a
try
PS4
it anyway.
for those sharp 8-bit graphics.
It's really putting the hardware to the test right there.
All right, so the game is called Downwell.
From Moppin, Moppin.
8-bit, eh?
All right, cool. So
Block falls down hole.
Johnny recommends it. I recommend the soundtrack from The Simpsons season 7 episode. No,